Are you ready to explore the mysteries of your very own Midnight Flight Tarot reading?
Ooh, sounds intriguing.
We're diving deep into the trick-or-treat tarot, but hold on, this isn't about predicting your future or anything like that.
Right, right.
Think of it more like, think of it like using those classic Halloween themes, hidden truths, big transformations.
I like where this is going.
It's all about unlocking what's already within you.
I love that. Using those spooky vibes for self-discovery.
Exactly. So the first part of your reading is called Winged Shadow, and it's all about uncovering hidden truths. The cards that were drawn for you are, well, let's just say they're pretty interesting. I get lost in your eyes, the Knight of Swords, and then there's the Devil card, linked to Capricorn. Have you felt a little mysterious lately? Like maybe, just maybe, someone might be keeping their eye on you.
Oh, a little intrigue. I like it.
Right. Because this combo of cards, it kind of makes you wonder if someone out there is harboring, maybe some secret feelings for you. And the I get lost in your eyes card, well, that speaks volumes, don't you think?
It definitely suggests a powerful attraction, that's for sure.
Totally.
Yeah.
So we've got this undeniable attraction, but then there's the Knight of Swords. What do you make of that?
Well, the Knight of Swords, you see, often represents someone who's very action-oriented, decisive, But they might be a little hesitant when it comes to, how do I put this? Really opening up emotionally.
So they might rush in head first, but haven't quite mastered the whole vulnerability thing. Sound familiar?
Maybe they're still figuring out how to balance that boldness with a little bit of heart on their sleeve honesty.
Okay, so they're drawn to you, maybe even a little infatuated. But something's holding them back, and that, my friend, is where the Devil card comes in. What's even more interesting is that it's linked to Capricorn.
Ah, yes, the Devil card. Especially with that Capricorn influence, that often points to, well, a bit of a power struggle between desire and control.
A tale as old as time.
Right. And this could be someone who really values control, maybe even to the point where they're suppressing their true emotions. They might even be projecting what they wish they had onto you.
Oh, I see where you're going with this. They're so focused on this idealized version of you, remember that Lost in Your Eyes card, that they haven't quite gotten real with their own feelings yet.
Exactly. It's like they're stuck in their own little world instead of dealing with what's really going on.
So what's the takeaway here? If you've been getting those mixed signals, this could be why. This isn't about you or your worth. It's their own journey, their own baggage they need to unpack.
They need to figure out their own script before they try to write your lines.
Exactly. It's like we're tuning into a whole different frequency. Shifting the focus from their story to yours.
Absolutely. It's all about reclaiming your energy.
And speaking of moving forward, the next part of your reading, Silent Flight, is all about doing just that. But, maybe with a little touch of stealth and grace. What do you think?
I love it. A little mystery as we navigate forward because let's be real, not everyone deserves a front row seat to our journey, right?
Exactly. So for this part of your reading, Silent Flight, you pulled the Positive Karma card and the You Leave Me Speechless Oracle card,
Right.
which is such a powerful statement, isn't it? Along with the Ten of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Moon linked to Pisces. Lots to unpack here. What are your initial thoughts?
Well, right off the bat, those oracle cards really stand out to me. Positive karma and You Leave Me Speechless, they feel connected, like a reminder that sometimes the best response is no response at all, especially when dealing with certain energies.
Ooh, I like where you're going with this. Less talk, more action.
Precisely. It's about protecting your energy and focusing on what truly matters. And when we look at the Ten of Cups, well, that card just radiates good vibes, wouldn't you say? It signifies those heartfelt desires being fulfilled, finding that deep emotional contentment.
So not just chasing happiness, but actually finding it, living it.
Yes. And the Ace of Pentacles just amplifies that positive momentum. It's like the universe saying, keep going, you're on the right track, especially when it comes to, new beginnings, material abundance, actually manifesting those dreams into reality.
Okay, so we've got abundance, fulfillment, positive energy. It's all aligning. But then we have the Moon card. It's always a bit enigmatic, don't you think? A little mysterious, like a whisper in the dark.
It definitely encourages us to trust our intuition, to pay attention to those subtle cues. The moon, especially with that Pisces energy, is all about intuition, dreams, those deep inner waters. Not everything is always as it seems on the surface, right?
Exactly. So while we're stepping into our power and celebrating our wins,
Which you should absolutely be doing.
it's also about being discerning,
Yeah,
trusting your gut. Not everyone deserves access to your energy, right?
1,000%. This part of the reading is all about moving forward with both confidence and that quiet inner knowing.
Protecting your energy, staying true to yourself. I love it. But we're not done yet. We still have the bat's vision to explore.
Yeah.
This is the penultimate part of your reading. And the cards here, well, let's just say they pack a punch. We get 222, the Hierophant, associated with Taurus, and the Emperor, linked to Aries. What a power trio.
It's like we're stepping into a whole new realm of possibilities. Clarity, strength, authenticity, it's all here.
Because 222, it's all about finding that sweet spot, right? That sense of balance and harmony, laying down those solid foundations.
Exactly. No more shaky ground. It's about stepping into a phase of stability in love, in life, in all areas. And with the Hierophant right alongside, well, that Taurus energy just grounds that energy even further.
It's about building something real, something lasting, no more games.
Taurus is all about those genuine connections, those slow-burning romances that stand the test of time. And after that period of reflection and trusting your intuition, it seems like the universe might be aligning to bring someone special into your life.
Someone who's ready to build that solid foundation with you. But hold on, we also have the Emperor in the mix. And where Taurus is steady and grounded, Aries brings the fire, the passion.
There it is, that spark. Because this isn't just about finding a partner, it's about finding an equal. Someone who challenges you, inspires you, pushes you to grow.
It's about stepping into the light together as a powerful duo.
Exactly. And you know what's really interesting about this? The Emperor is all about direct communication, expressing those emotions honestly and openly. Remember that Knight of Swords? Wondering if you should take a chance. This feels like a completely different energy.
It's like night and day. And speaking of powerful shifts in energy, we've arrived at the final part of your reading, the moon's reflection. This is all about owning your worth, baby. No more settling for less than you deserve. The cards here are Girl Boy, Stop Playing Games, and Love Me, alongside the Wheel of Fortune, which is linked to Jupiter, planet of expansion and abundance. And to top it all off, we have the Page of Wands, fueled by the passionate energy of those fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. What a way to conclude this reading. What are your thoughts?
It's a beautiful culmination, isn't it? Because we've journeyed from those hidden shadows, those unspoken feelings, to a place of true empowerment.
It's like stepping out of the darkness and into your own light.
Exactly. And that message, Girl Boy, Stop Playing Games, and Love Me, it's a powerful reminder that you are worthy of love just as you are. No masks, no pretenses, just genuine, heartfelt connection.
Yes. And the Wheel of Fortune reminds us that change is a natural part of life. And sometimes letting go of what no longer serves us is the bravest, most loving thing we can do. It creates space for something new and amazing to enter our lives.
It's like closing one chapter and stepping boldly into the unknown, knowing that the universe has your back. And when you approach that unknown with the playful, fiery energy of the Page of Wands...
Magic happens.
Exactly. You reconnect with your passions, embrace your inner child, and approach life as one giant adventure. Because it is, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And with that, we've reached the end of your Midnight Flight Tarot reading. It's been quite the journey, with its twists and turns, shadows and revelations.
But through it all, one thing's for sure. You hold the power within you to create the life you desire.
You are worthy of love, abundance, and joy, just as you are. So go out there and create magic. And until next time, keep exploring those hidden depths. Trust your intuition, and remember, you are a radiant, powerful being capable of achieving anything you set your mind to.
So true.
See you in the next deep dive.
Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive. This one's a little different. We're talking tarot. But before you click away thinking we're going to be, predicting the future or something.
Right.
It's not like that. It's actually a Halloween-themed reading that's all about self-reflection, like using tarot and, all the spooky season vibes as a guide for personal insights.
Yeah, it's less about fortune telling and more about using these tools for introspection, especially during a time of year when many cultures are reflecting on themes of change and transformation already.
Right.
Because Halloween, despite its kind of spooky exterior, often symbolizes the cyclical nature of life, death, and renewal. And we see this mirrored in tarot, where card like death isn't literal, but it represents transformation and new beginnings.
So it's more like shedding old layers, stepping into like a more authentic you, would you say?
Precisely. Yeah. And what's interesting about the Trick or Treat Tarot is that it acknowledges that, life isn't all sunshine and rainbows.
Right. Right.
There are challenges alongside the celebrations. The tricks with the treats.
It's true. It's true. Like when you get that one house giving out raisins instead of candy, it's a mixed bag.
Exactly. And this reading reflects that, with some spreads exploring shadows and hidden aspects, while others focus on blessings and joy.
Okay, so let's say, you're drawn to the witch's cauldron bucket. Very fitting for Halloween, right? This one's all about transformation, like what needs to change, what's brewing within. And the spread we're diving into is called the witch's brew.
Hmm, sounds potent. It really is. This spread dives deep into the alchemical process of transformation and how we as individuals can, navigate these changes with intention. It's like we're brewing a potion for personal growth,
Yeah.
using the cards as ingredients and insights.
I love that. I love that analogy. So walk us through. What do we pull for that first position?
Okay, so the first position is the ingredients.
Hmm?
This reveals what's currently transforming in the seeker's life. And in this reading, we have the phrase, I'm too shy, the death card, and the sun card.
Okay, that's a powerful combination right off the bat, especially with the death card there next to, that phrase about shyness. It feels like, I don't know, breaking free from self-imposed limitations maybe.
Exactly. The death card, especially in the context of personal growth, isn't literal. It symbolizes endings, yes, but also new beginnings. It's about shedding old skins, old identities that no longer serve us. And here, paired with the phrase, I'm too shy, it suggests a desire to step out of that shell, to no longer be held back by self-doubt.
And then we have the sun card there, which is, such a powerful card of vitality and radiance.
Yes, it is. And its presence here amplifies that transformative energy. The sun illuminates all that it touches, right? So this suggests a desire to step into the light, to embrace a more confident, radiant self, free from the shadows of shyness.
Okay, so we've got these powerful ingredients for transformation. What's next?
The next position is the stirring. And this highlights the energies influencing this transformation. We see the phrases, all I want for Christmas is you, and you aren't in this alone, along with the Ace of Cups, the Hermit, and the Lovers.
Whoa, a lot to unpack there. The Christmas phrase makes me think about, like, I don't know, timelines, like wanting this transformation to kind of manifest by a certain date.
Interesting observation that there's definitely a sense of urgency here, a desire to experience this change fully by a specific milestone. And the Ace of Cups, being all about emotions and deep desires, emphasizes this longing for change and connection. It suggests a yearning for something, more fulfilling, more aligned with their true self.
Right, and then you have the hermit and the lovers there together. That seems, I don't know, kind of contradictory at first glance.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But that's where it gets really insightful. The Hermit represents introspection, solitude, going inward to connect with your inner wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lovers, well, it's about connection, partnerships, but also about making choices that align with your heart's true desires.
So, like, finding that balance between that inner work and the external support of, loving relationships.
Precisely. It suggests that this transformation requires both, embracing those solitary moments as self-discovery,
Yeah.
and also leaning into the support of loved ones who encourage this growth.
I like it. This is so fascinating. Okay, so, the ingredients are simmering, the energies are swirling. What's next in this cauldron?
Well, the next card position, the potion's bubbling, reveals what's about to surface as a result of this change. And we have another appearance of the Death card, this time with the phrase, you are amazing, and the Ace of Wands.
Two death cards in one reading. This person is really going through a metamorphosis. And the Ace of Wands, if I remember correctly, is all about new beginnings. Yeah.
It is. It represents that initial spark of inspiration, the energy to take action and manifest your desires.
And paired with that second death card, it suggests that this transformation is gaining momentum. It's becoming visible to the outside world.
It's like they're not just changing internally anymore, but they're actually expressing that new self outwardly, and the universe is saying, you are amazing.
Yeah.
Like a big cosmic thumbs up. I love that. Oh, the reading also mentioned a specific person with red or brown hair. Yes, and they are described as incredibly supportive, valuing the seeker for who they are becoming. This points to a deep, unwavering connection that can weather the storms of change.
Yeah, having that kind of support is so crucial during times of, any kind of transformation, really. Okay, so we're getting close to that final potion here, right? What does the reading say about how to make the most of this transformative energy? So we've seen the ingredients, the stirring, the bubbling anticipation of what this transformation is creating. But what does it all mean? What's the final outcome, the essence of this transformation elixir?
That's where the final position, the final elixir comes in. This reveals the ultimate outcome. And the cards we have here are, well, they're incredibly potent. Girl, boy. The Four of Pentacles.
Yeah.
And this,
Girl, boy, alongside the star. Okay. That's interesting. It feels like, I don't know, breaking free from expectations, embracing fluidity, and living authentically. Am I on the right track there?
You're picking up on it perfectly. That combination suggests a transformation that goes beyond, you know, just superficial changes. It's
Yeah.
about aligning your inner world with your outer expression, even if it challenges, conventional norms. The Star card, with its message of hope and renewal, reinforces that this is a journey toward greater self-acceptance. It's about looking within and shining brightly, just as you are.
And the Four of Pentacles appearing here. That's interesting. It usually represents stability and security, right? But in this context, I almost feel like it's, I don't know, cautioning against clinging to old patterns, maybe, or limiting beliefs. It's like, yes, find your stability, but don't let it turn into stagnation.
That's a really astute observation. The Four of Pentacles here could very well be a reminder that true transformation requires letting go. It's about releasing the need to control everything.
Yeah.
And trusting the unfolding of your own unique path, even if it leads you in, unexpected directions.
This has been incredible. If we kind of, take a step back and look at this witch's brew spread within the Trick or Treat Tarot, what's the biggest takeaway you want our listener to walk away with?
What's truly remarkable is how this reading highlights the transformative power of authenticity. It reminds us that embracing our true selves, even the parts we might have, once hidden, can be the most liberating and empowering journey of all. And sometimes it takes a little Halloween magic and a cauldron of self-reflection to get there.
So as we wrap up this Halloween-themed deep dive, it's like we're each being handed our own metaphorical cauldron, filled with the ingredients for personal transformation. What choices will we make? What will we choose to release and embrace as we step into, a more authentic version of ourselves? That's something to ponder as we head into the season of change.
And indeed. And perhaps, just perhaps, this reading serves as a pertinent reminder that true transformation isn't about becoming someone new, but rather about uncovering and celebrating the magic that was always within us all along.
Happy Halloween, everyone. And remember, sometimes the most profound transformations happen when we dare to embrace our own unique magic. And for today's deep dive, we're focusing on one specific spread from that devilish bucket we talked about, the
Cool.
devil's
Okay.
trick, right?
Right.
And before anyone starts picturing, pentagrams and summoning circles, what exactly is this devil's trick all about?
Well, actually, it's kind of the opposite of summoning demons. It's about, confronting them, metaphorically speaking, of course.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's about those inner challenges, the temptations, those little devils we all have inside us, the ones that can really trip us up if we let them.
So instead of shying away from those tricky parts of ourselves, we're like shining a spotlight on them.
Exactly. I mean, think about it. You can't really overcome an obstacle if you don't even know it's there. Right.
That's a good point. So walk us through this devil's trick spread. What makes it so unique?
Well, it's got 5 card positions, and each one, it kind of gives you a different angle on this whole, temptation, illusion, and overcoming challenges thing. And what's really interesting here is that the example, the one we're looking at, it actually uses 3 different tarot decks.
3 different decks. Why is that?
Well, it just adds another layer,
Yeah.
Imagine getting different perspectives on the same story, that kind of thing. But let's focus on the structure first.
All right, so 5 card positions, each with its own meaning, all playing into this devil's trick. Let's start with the first one, shall we?
Sure. So the first position is called the Devil's Temptation. And it's all about, well, it's about identifying that lure, that thing that seems irresistible, even if deep down it might not actually be good for you.
Oh, those shiny objects we all gravitate towards, even when we know they might not be so good for us.
Exactly. And the source material, it gives a really relatable example here. It's that whole, that tension between what you personally want and external pressures.
Oh, tell me about it. Like when you feel this pressure to follow a certain career path, even if your heart's not in it, just because it's, what your family expects.
Exactly. Or maybe it's that feeling of being, I don't know, being pushed towards a relationship, but it just doesn't quite feel right. The devil's temptation, it kind of brings all those inner struggles to the surface, makes you face them.
So how does that actually look in this example spread? What cards are we dealing with here?
Okay, so the example, it talks about the 3 of Cups and the Knight of Wands as potential cards, cards you might see pop up in this position. Now, the 3 of Cups, it usually represents celebrations, social gatherings, that whole sense of community, right?
Okay.
But in this context, when we're thinking about temptation, about those external pressures, it could actually symbolize those societal expectations, those family expectations that can sometimes feel, well, suffocating.
Yeah, like that whole "this is what's expected of you" thing, even if it doesn't light you up inside.
Exactly. And then there's the Knight of Wands. That card's often associated with passion, adventure, a desire for freedom. So in this case, it could represent that inner yearning, that pull towards something different, something that's more in line with what you actually want, even if it goes against the grain,
Yeah.
what other people expect.
So it's like you're being pulled in two different directions, right? This need to please others, but also that yearning to forge your own path. This is already getting interesting.
Oh, we're just getting started. This is just the first layer of the onion. We've got a lot more to peel back.
All right, I am hooked. Let's peel back another layer then. What's the second card position in this Devil's Trick spread?
All right, so the second position, it's called the Trickster's Mask. And this is where things get really,
Come on.
yeah,
Don't leave me hanging.
well, interesting in a maybe kind of spooky way, right? Like this is where we start to, I don't know, uncover the lies we tell ourselves, those justifications we make, the ones that keep us stuck in that whole cycle of temptation and struggle.
Ah, so those excuses we cling to just to avoid, like, actually making a tough decision, even when we kind of already know what we really want.
Exactly. It's that voice that says, oh, I can't possibly back out now. Everyone's going to be so disappointed. But this card, the Trickster's Mask, it challenges those narratives.
Yeah.
Makes you ask yourself, hold on, who am I trying to convince here?
Because sometimes we're the ones holding ourselves back, right? Like, we buy into those limiting beliefs without even realizing it.
Exactly. It's like the example spread, they talk about the Queen of Wands as a card that could show up here. And that queen, she's all like, embracing your own fire, your independence, that ability to just lead with like courage and authenticity.
It's that reminder that we have the power, right, to create our own reality. We don't have to
Yeah.
be bound by, like, everyone else's expectation.
Exactly. But of course, stepping into that queen energy, it's not always easy, right? And the source material, they also mentioned the Seven of Cups as a possibility here.
Okay, the Seven of Cups. What's that one all about?
Well, it often represents like illusions, wishful thinking, all those what-if scenarios that can really, I don't know, keep us kind of trapped in this loop of indecision. It's like we get so busy chasing fantasies that we lose sight of, what's real, what actually matters.
It's that classic grass is always greener trap.
Yeah, totally.
But this Trickster's Mask card, it's telling us to take off those rose-colored glasses, see things for what they really are.
Right. It's about recognizing when we're just, I don't know, telling ourselves stories to avoid those uncomfortable truths.
Okay, this is making me think. So we've identified the temptation, we've unmasked the lies we tell ourselves. But there's still that question of why, right? Like, why are we so drawn to this thing in the first place?
And that, my friend, that is where the third card position comes in, the fire of desire. This is where we go deep to the root of what's fueling that temptation.
Okay, getting to the core of it all. What's this example spread saying about this fire of desire? What's fueling it?
Well, they highlight the Nine of Swords and the Six of Wands as potential cards here. Now, the Nine of Swords, that one's often about like anxiety,
Yeah.
worry, those sleepless nights, just agonizing over decisions. It kind of hints at this deep-seated fear lurking beneath the surface.
A fear of, I don't know, of making the wrong choice.
Exactly. And that's where the Six of Wands comes in. It sheds light on what we're hoping to gain, by making that choice. This card's usually about victory, recognition, public acknowledgement, that sort of thing.
So we're seeking validation, approval even, like to
Right.
quiet those anxieties that the Nine of Swords is showing us.
Exactly. It's like we're trying to prove something, right, to ourselves, to everyone else. But this fire of desire, it asks, hold on, is that external validation really going to do it?
Right.
Or are you chasing something that'll never truly satisfy you?
Whoa. Okay, that's deep. So we've got the temptation, the illusions, we've even dug down to those core desires. Where do we even go from here? How do we actually, like, move through these challenges?
That, my friend, is where the Inferno's test comes in, the fourth card position. It might sound a little, I don't know, intimidating at first. But
Intimidating, yeah, just a tad. But we're not talking like eternal damnation kind of thing here.
No, not at all. Think of it more like, I don't know how to say it, a cosmic boot camp for your soul.
A boot camp. Okay, I like where this is going. What kind of training are we in for with this metaphorical boot camp?
So the Inferno's test, it's basically highlighting the challenge, right? the challenge that you're meant to overcome. It's not about suffering, really. It's about what you're meant to learn from this whole messy situation, even if it's uncomfortable.
Those growing pains we all go through,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Like building up your resilience, your self-awareness
Hmm.
through challenges. It's how we grow.
Makes sense. So what kind of workout routine are we looking at in this particular spread?
Well, the example here, it points to the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords as potential cards. The Knight of Pentacles, that one's all about practicality, planning things out, taking that slow and steady approach, real grounded, reliable energy.
The careful planner. Okay, got it.
Hmm.
And what about the Knight of Swords? That one sounds a little more, I don't know, a little more intense maybe.
Yeah, you could say that. The Knight of Swords is quick, decisive, driven by logic,
Yeah.
and like a real thirst for truth, where the Knight of Pentacles is cautious, this one's fearless, maybe even a little impulsive sometimes.
Okay, so two very different vibes. How do they both fit into this Infernos test?
Well, remember that whole theme of temptation and setting boundaries? This test, it might be about finding a balance, finding that sweet spot between those two knights, like tempering empathy with a good dose of self-preservation.
It's not about shutting down emotions or anything, but realizing that saying no, sometimes that's like the ultimate act of self-love.
Exactly. It's that whole can't pour from an empty cup idea. Got to take care of yourself to really be there for others.
Which brings us to the final card, right? The Devil's Blessing. After all that, so this is where I don't know, we find out what we've learned, how we've changed through this whole process.
Exactly. But it's not so much about a reward, like a tangible thing. It's more an inner transformation that happens when we face those, this inner devils head on. It's realizing those unexpected gifts that come with, I don't know, with navigating those tough emotions, making hard choices.
I love that even in this Devil's Bucket, we still get a blessing. Like it proves that even challenges, they can be chances to grow. So what kind of blessings could this spread actually reveal?
Well, they give the example of the King of Pentacles. That card's often about stability, abundance, having a strong sense of self-worth. It's like through this whole process, right, setting boundaries, honoring your needs, you're creating this solid foundation for yourself emotionally and who knows, maybe even materially.
Like investing in yourself, building a life that actually reflects what you value.
Exactly. And then there's also the Page of Cups to
Wow.
consider. That one often represents like a renewed sense of wonder, joy, creativity, all that good stuff.
So by letting go of that need to please everyone, we actually open ourselves up to more joy, more creativity in our own lives.
Yeah, that's the idea. It's like you're reclaiming parts of yourself that you might have, lost touch with, rediscovering that sense of play, that wonder that we often lose sight of.
I gotta say, when we first started talking about this trick-or-treat tarot, I was a bit skeptical, I'll admit. But now, I'm seeing the potential. Even for someone like me who doesn't necessarily subscribe to all the mystical stuff.
That's the beauty of it, though. It's not about, like, fortune telling. It's about using these cards as a tool to
Yeah.
think about yourself. It's like having a conversation with your own subconscious.
And this whole trick-or-treat theme, it just makes it, I don't know, more fun, more approachable. Like, hey, let's get to know our shadow selves, but let's make it a little spooky and playful while we're at it.
Exactly. Sometimes a little playfulness. That's all it takes to unlock those deep insights. And remember, sometimes the biggest transformations, they happen when we're willing to embrace the unknown, to explore those shadowy parts of ourselves with a little curiosity, a little courage. You might just surprise yourself with what you find.
And on that note, that's a wrap on this deep dive. Until next time, everyone, keep exploring, keep asking those big questions, and most importantly, have fun doing it.
Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive with us.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
It is, we are talking tarot today.
Always exciting,
It is,
especially this time of year.
especially this time of year.
A little spooky season.
So we're doing a Halloween-themed reading,
Yes.
which is different,
Yeah.
but still in line with our,
Yeah,
celebrating achievements and all that.
for sure, for sure.
So this is a special reading called,
This one is called the Trick or Treat Tarot. So we're going to be dipping into the pumpkin bucket today and focusing on a spread called the Harvest Lantern.
Harvest Lantern.
I like the sound of that already.
Yeah, it's very appropriate for the season.
It is.
And it really encourages us to kind of look at what brings us joy and where we might need to focus our energy for growth as we move forward.
Love it, love it. Okay, so where do we even begin with something like this?
Well, I think like any journey, we start with a single step, right? And in this case, that step is called the seed.
Okay.
So it's the first part of the spread, and it's all about new beginnings.
It's okay, new beginnings.
But the interesting thing is that the cards here suggest that these new beginnings might stem from something old.
Okay, so like rekindled connections projects we put on the back burner.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we're looking at the number 333, the 8 of Wands, and the 9 of Wands, which is associated with the sign of Sagittarius. Okay, when you say 333, I immediately think numerology. Like, that's a powerful number.
It is a powerful number, and in numerology, it's a very clear message from the universe that you're on the right path. Like, we've got your back.
I love when the universe sends clear messages like that.
Me too. Me
Yeah.
too. And with the Eight of Wands, we're talking about swift action, rapid manifestation.
Okay.
Like you're planting those seeds in fertile ground, and they're just popping up before you know it.
So things are about to move quickly with these new beginnings.
Precisely. And the Nine of Wands reminds us that we've been here before. We've planted seeds. Maybe we've faced some challenges, but we've learned and grown from those experiences. So it's like sometimes it's not the seed that needs changing, it's the soil, it's the circumstances.
Wow.
Right.
That's a really powerful way to look at it.
Yeah.
Because I think we often blame ourselves, or we blame, oh, I just didn't do the right things. But sometimes it's just not the right time or the right, situation.
The right environment.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So it's like giving ourselves permission to try again, but this time we're armed with the experience and that 333 confidence boost from the universe.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so we've planted the seed. Things are moving fast. What comes next in our journey through this harvest lantern spread?
Well, after the planting comes the celebration, right?
Okay.
So the next section is the harvest. And this is where we get to bask in the glow of our achievements.
Okay.
And the cards here are pretty intriguing. We have Follow Your Heart, the Sun, Pure Leo energy, and the Hanged Man, which has connections to Neptune and Pisces. Okay, so the Sun, I totally get how that screams achievement. It's about confidence, shining brightly, all those good things. But the Hanged Man, that card's always felt a little well stationary to me. How does that fit into celebrating accomplishments?
That's where the deep dive gets really interesting.
Okay.
You see, the Hanged Man, despite its name, isn't about being stuck. It's about perspective.
Okay.
It's about pausing, looking at things from a different angle, and that often leads to the most profound breakthroughs.
So it's less about outward action and more about those internal shifts that can be huge accomplishments in themselves.
Exactly. Think about it. Taking a step back, reflecting on your journey, and realizing how much you've grown, how much you've overcome, that's a huge achievement. And when paired with the Sun, which is all about self-expression and embracing your authentic self, it suggests you've come a long way in owning your truth and shining your light brightly.
It's like those aha moments where you realize how far you've come and how much stronger you are because of it.
Yes.
Those are definitely worth celebrating.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got new beginnings fueled by past experiences.
Yes.
And the courage to embrace a fresh perspective.
Love it.
What else does this Harvest Lantern spread have in store for us? Because I have a feeling we're just getting started.
You're right about that. You see, every harvest requires tending to the field, right? And that's where we're headed next. The Lantern's Glow section is going to illuminate the areas of our lives that might need a little extra attention, the things that might be holding us back.
Ooh, I can already feel the energy shifting. What cards are guiding us through this part of the spread?
Get ready for some realness because we aren't fooling anyone. The Five of Cups linked to Scorpio and the Knight of Cups influenced by the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And trust me, these cards don't sugarcoat things.
We aren't fooling anyone.
Yeah.
That sounds like a gentle but firm nudge from the universe to get real with ourselves. And the Five of Cups, it doesn't exactly scream celebration to me.
You're right, it doesn't. The Five of Cups often represents loss, grief, or disappointment. But more importantly, it points to holding on to something even when it no longer serves us. Imagine clinging to those spilled cups, focusing on what's gone, instead of seeing the possibilities still out there.
It's like that saying, you can't pour more into a cup that's already full.
Right.
Sometimes letting go is the hardest but most necessary step to make space for something new.
Exactly. And that's where the Knight of Cups comes in. Ruled by the element of water, this card is all about emotions, intuition, and deep sensitivity. It could represent a situation or even a person you're deeply connected to, but that's draining your energy, hindering your growth.
So how do we know if we're holding on to something that's no longer serving us? And more importantly, how do we let go?
Those are the million-dollar questions, aren't they? The lantern's glow is shining a light on this very thing, urging you to take a closer look at what's draining your energy.
This is getting deep. I'm ready to explore this further. But before we do, any advice for our listeners on how they can start identifying those energy-draining situations or even just start wrapping their heads around the possibility of letting go?
The first step is awareness. The cards are encouraging you to be honest with yourself. Ask yourself, what's taking more energy than it's giving? And remember, this isn't about placing blame. It's about recognizing patterns, understanding your own needs, and having the courage to make choices that honor your well-being.
It's like giving ourselves permission to step out of the shadows and into the light of our own truth.
Exactly. And that's a powerful place to be as we continue our journey through the Harvest Lantern spread.
Okay, deep divers, we've covered a lot of ground, but there's still so much more to explore. We've planted our seeds of intention, acknowledged the achievements that come from shifting our perspective, and even dared to shine a light on those things we might be holding on to a little too tightly. But we're not done yet. When we return, we'll delve into what we need to protect the unexpected abundance heading our way, and ultimately what it all means for you on your unique journey. Don't go anywhere. And we're back digging deeper into this Harvest Lantern spread.
Lots to unpack.
There is. So we've uncovered new beginnings, the need to let go, and I'm curious about what do we need to protect as we move through these new phases?
Well, there's a section for that. It's called the flickering flame. And this represents the aspects of ourselves that need careful tending, especially during times of change. And the cards here are, you are so beautiful, the Ace of Pentacles and the Page of Swords, which is connected to those air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius.
You are so beautiful. I mean, what a great affirmation.
Right.
And the Ace of Pentacles, isn't that about new beginnings, prosperity, abundance? What makes them at risk?
Well, you're right. They are all very positive cards, but think of it like this. A tiny seedling pushing through the earth.
Okay.
It has the potential to grow into something magnificent, but it's also incredibly vulnerable.
Okay.
And the same goes for new beginnings and opportunities. They need to be nurtured and protected.
So it's not about being unstable. It's about recognizing that fragility.
Exactly. And that's where the Page of Swords comes in.
Okay.
With the influence of those air signs, this card reminds us to stay alert, guard those precious new beginnings with vigilance.
So we have to be very aware. Yes, very discerning.
Guarding against.
Knowing your worth and not letting anyone, including yourself, dim your shine.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Because it is easy to let self-doubt creep in.
It is.
Especially when we're trying to manifest, big dreams and goals.
Absolutely. And that self-doubt, that's what that flickering flame is warning against. It's about cultivating that inner strength.
It's like giving ourselves permission to believe in ourselves and our dreams.
Yes. Yes.
I love this spread.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It is. It's so insightful. So we've gone from planting seeds to celebrating to protecting. What else does this Halloween-themed reading have in store for us?
Well, it wouldn't be trick or treat without a little something sweet, right?
Right.
So the pumpkin's gift is all about the unexpected abundance heading your way.
And the cards here are, you need a hug, the Hermit connected to Virgo, and the Three of Pentacles associated with Capricorn.
You need a hug. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
But with the Hermit card, I always think about solitude, like being alone.
Mm-hmm.
So how do those two go together?
Well, it's an interesting juxtaposition, isn't it? The Hermit, guided by Virgo's energy, might seem at odds with seeking comfort. But here's the thing about solitude. It allows us to realize how much we crave and need connection as well.
So it's not about becoming a hermit in the literal sense.
No.
It's just about honoring that need for both solitude and connection.
It's finding that balance, taking time to connect with yourself and then re-emerging ready to receive that support and love.
And then with Three of Pentacles being in this mix as well,
Right.
What does that tell us?
Well, the Three of Pentacles ruled by Capricorn is about collaboration, teamwork, recognition of hard work. So it suggests that the abundance coming your way is directly tied to the efforts you've been putting in.
So it's not just luck or chance.
No, it's about the universe recognizing and rewarding your efforts.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's like saying, we see you, we see your hard work, and we're here to support you in taking things to the next level.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. So we've gone from intention to protection to abundance. What ties it all together? What's the overall message here? And we are back for the third and final part of our Harvest Lantern deep dive.
Ready to wrap it all up?
We've gone through so much. I feel like there's this overarching theme of balance emerging.
There is. This spread really highlights how important balance is in our lives.
Like finding that equilibrium between action and stillness solitude and connection.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that every aspect of our lives needs attention and care.
It's like tending to a garden, right? You plant seeds, you nurture them, you even have to prune away dead leaves sometimes to make room for new growth.
That's a great analogy. And this idea of abundance that we talked about with the pumpkin's gift, it's not just about material wealth.
Right. It's about cultivating that richness in all areas of our lives.
Our relationships, our sense of purpose, our connection to our inner selves, it all contributes to a sense of true abundance.
And it's interesting how it all ties back to those initial seeds of intention that we talked about. Like what we focus on, what we nurture, that's what grows.
It's about taking responsibility for our own happiness and fulfillment, and remembering that we have the power to create the life we want.
But it's not all about hard work. There's also an element of surrender. Like with that pumpkin's gift, sometimes the greatest gifts come when we least expect them.
That element of surprise is so important. It reminds us to stay open to the possibilities, to trust that the universe has a plan, even when we can't see the whole picture.
It's like a reminder to let go of the need to control everything and to approach life with a sense of curiosity and wonder.
Exactly. The Harvest Lantern, it's not just a reading, it's a call to action. It's an invitation to step boldly into the most authentic and abundant version of ourselves.
This deep dive has given me so much to think about. I'm walking away with a renewed sense of purpose and excitement for what's next. How about you?
Absolutely. It's a good reminder to check in with ourselves regularly and ask, what seeds am I planting? What do I want to harvest?
It's such a powerful question. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey into the world of tarot. We hope this deep dive has inspired you to embrace the magic of new beginnings and cultivate a more fulfilling and abundant life.
Until next time, keep shining your light.